In the mid-1960s, the U.S. Coast Guard constructed 7 lighthouses in open water, far offshore. The lighthouses, dubbed Texas Towers, took advantage of advances in underwater construction techniques pioneered in the oil industry off the coast of, you guessed it, Texas. Today, only 3 of these towers remain standing, and none of them are active aids to navigation. Why did the Coast Guard build the Texas Towers? What led to their ultimate demise? And what are they doing today? From its inception, the United States has always been a seafaring nation, and protecting shipping from the hazards of the sea has been a national priority, almost from the Republic's inception, marked by the 1789 formation of the U.S. Lighthouse Establishment. The federal government constructed lighthouses up and down the nation's coastlines to warn mariners of rocks, shoals, and other navigational hazards. But what do you do about a shoal that's 40 miles offshore? Enter the lightship. Lightships were more or less floating lighthouses. If you needed to mark a reef, bank, rock, shoal, or some other underwater nasty that could tear a hole in the bottom of a ship's hull, you marked it with a lightship. During the day, their bright red hulls warned approaching sailors of the hazard lurking below the waves. At night, they hoisted bright lanterns up the mast high above the water, and in the fog, bells and horns were sounded. The problem with lightships is that they're ships. They need a crew, the crew needs to be relieved periodically, they need to be dry docked from time to time, they blow off station, and sometimes they even sink. They sunk in storms, wars, and one was even cut in two by an ocean liner. Whenever the lighthouse establishment and its successor agencies could replace a lightship with a lighthouse, they did. And who can blame them? They're a heck of a lot tougher, don't sink, and you don't need a whole crew, just a keeper. Caisson lighthouses, which look kind of like giant spark plugs, were the pinnacle of lightship replacement technology in the 19th century. They derived their name from the heavy cast iron caisson, which would be sunk into the sea floor and weighted down with stones or concrete. While they were a huge improvement over lightships in sheltered waters, building them out in the open ocean didn't go so well. In 1888, the U.S. Lighthouse Board let a contract for $500,000, over $15 million in 2024 money, to build a caisson lighthouse marking the dangerous Diamond Shoals off the coast of Cape Hatteras off of North Carolina. In June 1891, a 45-foot tall steel caisson was towed out to the shoals and anchored in place. Due to design deficiencies and the strong currents on the shoal, the caisson lasted for all of 3 days before it disappeared under the sea, never to be seen again. It would be over 70 years before the construction of a lighthouse on Diamond Shoals was attempted again, this time by the Lighthouse Board's successor, the U.S. Coast Guard. Advances in underwater construction pioneered by the British Monsell forts during World War II and U.S. oil companies in the Gulf of Mexico finally enabled the Coast Guard to build the lighthouses far out at sea. The first one constructed was at the entrance to Buzzards Bay in Massachusetts in 1961, followed by 6 others. Renton Reef near Newport, Rhode Island, erected in 1962. Frying Pan Shoals and Savannah Light, both built in 1964. Frying Pan Shoals Light marked the eponymous shoals off the coast of North Carolina, while Savannah Light marked the entrance to the Savannah River near Georgia. Next came Chesapeake Light in 1965 off of the Virginia Capes, followed by Diamond Shoal Light in 1966, a full 75 years after the caisson debacle. The last Texas Tower lighthouse to go up was the Ambrose, situated at the beginning of the Ambrose Channel leading into New York Harbor. In 2016, the Coast Guard extinguished the light in the Chesapeake Tower, ending the era of Texas Towers as active navigational aids. Why? In short, like cassette tapes, They were technological marvels for their time, but technology marched on, rendering them obsolete. GPS navigation has eliminated the need for expensive crude towers, which have turned into more navigational hazard than navigational aid in recent years, while automation has eliminated the need for a crew. Brenton Reef Tower was the first to go, demolished in 1992 and replaced by a buoy after being found structurally unsound. Buzzards Bay was next on the chopping block in 1996 after it too was deemed structurally unsound. A much smaller, automated tower replaced it. 1996 saw the untimely demise of two additional towers, Ambrose and Savannah, which were both struck by merchant ships. Luckily, both were automated by this point, so no crewmen were hurt. Ambrose was rebuilt along the lines of the Buzzards Bay Tower, and the new tower was run over again. This time, the Coast Guard decided not to rebuild it, and today the entrance to the channel is marked by a buoy, just like Savannah. Diamond Shoals, Frying Pan Shoals, and Chesapeake lights are all still standing today after having their lights extinguished in 2001, 2003, and 2016 respectively. They're all in private hands now, and Frying Pan Shoals is now a bed and breakfast where intrepid adventurers can spend the weekend over 20 miles out to sea, fishing, diving, or just lounging the day away in a hammock enjoying the cool ocean breeze. If you enjoyed this look at the U.S. Coast Guard's Texas Towers, please hit the like button and subscribe. And I'd like to wish you all fair winds and following seas until the next edition of History at Sea.